I thought I'd start with something different today with stocks predators. So a lot of people are hungry to get those quick wins with futures trading, and I don't blame you. But to grow wealth, you need to trade stocks, to swing trade stocks. So if you're making good profits on your futures trading, well, you should be, if you're using the software and following my rules, you should be then attributing some of that profit to grow your wealth. And I wanted to show you, I've just started on StockTwits. It's full of spammers, but I've just started on there and sharing a few things and things like that. Yeah, everything's coordinated, Trevor. So on the 29th of May, I shared a stocks predator signal. So we had CRDO on the confluence meter. So it had an Xbrat Algo 6-star buy just after earnings, and it had unusual options activity. So the strike price was $22.50, but I actually saw fresh air to 24, really. We got the momentum started by, this is where confluence has come here. So we have the bias depth heat map, all green, on the daily time frame. We have a 4 and a 6, then a 6-star buy on the Xbrat Algo. So momentum is building technically. Then we've got unusual options activity. We've then had that confluence of earnings to actually really give a bit of a boost to that directional flow. So earnings with stocks either turn that directional flow around. So imagine a beaver building a dam in a river, that directional flow gets diverted, or in fact, it's like adding another tributary to that river, and that directional flow can get stronger. So it's there's a lot of stocks out there, and what the stocks predator does is identifies those that are in confluence. So that directional flow is higher, and there's lots of confluence there. Yeah, so strike price is the level in which they'd be taking profit on that particular options play, with a expiration here, if you see, on the 19th of the 7th. So that was the call that I made on stocks predator on the 19th. I see fresh air to 24. I didn't say that's my target, but I see fresh air to 24. So take that away. This is what the stocks predator looks like today. I'm just going to go to unusual options activity scanner and show you the chart actually on the stocks predator as well. We do have multiple chart sets there with lots of different indicators, have our indicators built in. So that's where that signal came from that original filter. There's quite a few today. There's 3 greens on NCLH, but we'll look at that in a little while. Just get rid of all those things. So this is now TradingView. Let me just get rid of all these signals. So what I've done a tiny little bit of work on here on the chart sets. So one of the things at this moment in time, I'm looking at the 60-minute, I'm looking at the Elliott wave here. So we had that earnings, okay? We had that 6-star buy on the daily. We got the gap on the earnings and it's ran. It's pulled back. It's found support in the green zone of the pullback zone of the Elliott wave. So there's an 85% probability when that wave 4 finds support in this green zone, it's going to go and hit the 5th wave target zone. So $27 is actually a credible target for this particular trade. When I'm swing trading something like this, I'll look at multiple time frames. And I'll use different strategies to understand the behavior. So when I see this profit-taking pullback after some highs, I understand when I'm using the manager, all of this is lower than average volume, except for one candle. But it's a one-candle wonder, runs out of juice and starts to turn back up again. And we're going for that 5th wave. So that's that on the hourly. When I look on the weekly time frame, something that gives me a lot of confidence on this directional flow is actually this week, this previous week candle there broke out of this long-term channel on the weekly time frame. Okay, so it doesn't look a lot. The stock's not that old, but major pivot at the top here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touches there. We've got a touch, 2 touches down at the bottom. That's a channel. Okay, look at the center line touching this, what we call, it's a rejection. It's like that. It's a big doji there on the weekly. It's got support here. We're clustering with resistance and support around here. So this is a true reflection on the weekly time frame of the overall trend. When we get a catalyst like earnings that breaks out of that trend, this is a good trade. But to get in that, we needed that confluence to understand that, hey, there's unusual options activity here. We've got earnings. We've got an Xbrat algo 6-star buy on the daily time frame. The stars are aligned. The directional flow is strong, and that earnings just kept that going and really went for it. So now we're at we're nearly new highs. So far this week, we've had a rejection of the lows. When we go back to that hourly time frame, we can see that pullback this week on as an Elliott wave. So we understand that pullback during the week was normal behavior again. So now we're looking really in reality for a $27 target price on this. Really, really good trade. And then we can look at the daily time frame here again. We just saw that. And we can see, this is that weekly channel on the daily time frame. So one of the things that we look at as well is now we want the top of this to act as support. We've got to start thinking about those daily support and resistance zones. Those, I've drawn those in gray, okay? Earnings was the catalyst to actually break through this, and the pink one, which is the 60-minute. And now we're forming a pennant, okay, on the daily time frame. We've had some profit taken at the highs, but there wasn't a lot, okay? The behavior was normal. We can understand that with the Elliott wave. So I don't necessarily use the Elliott wave to trade all of the time. I use it as part of my overall confluence strategy for swing trading stocks. Right now, I've got that $27 target in mind. So I can, start to adjust those trading stops quite tight to lock in quite a lot of profit there. So that's the stocks predator play that I called on the 29th of May, and it's a winner chicken dinner. It takes some practice, but the thing is with the stocks predator, let's bring that back over. So this scans every day at the close. It scans 11,000 stocks and ETFs. And what it does is trying to find those ones that appear on the Xbrat algo scanner and or unusual and or insider. So it's got to appear at least on 2 of them to actually appear on there. So imagine 11,000 stocks and ETFs. That's all that's in Confluence right now. We've got training for that, and Vic, that's on the call right now, does offer support for that stocks predator. But in reality, we can get rid of quite a lot. I mean, I want to just look at this one. We've got 3 greens, okay? I'm going to look at the unusual options activity just to begin with, just to see where we are. We have a victory rate of 20.77. It's not bad. We got mixture 31st, 6th, 7th of the 6th. Now they're all just about to run out. So, that unusual options activity has happened. Then we start to understand what's going on. So let's have a quick look at the daily time frame here. Really like the fact that a butterfly harmonic pattern on the daily completed right at that automated completion zone. There's probably some legs in there. It's quite a cheap stock at that point. We're not all 6 time frames on the buyer stepped heat map yet. Just have a look at the weekly a second. So we've got quite a bit of resistance there on the weekly that starts around 21.35 to 22.51. So there is a bit of room there. We are all 6 time frames green on the weekly. There's quite a bit of bullish bias there. Nothing on the 195. I can see that momentum building on. We have the 30-minute on here as well, so we can see intraday. We can see some of these moves. So one of the things with the VWAP Predator and stocks, guys, if I get a buy signal in the last 30 minutes of a session, the likelihood is, the percentages are with you, that it's going to gap up there. So you buy it just before the end of the session and put a sell order in market when it opens as soon as you see the gap up there. That's just one strategy that I can use, but I can see more. You see, this is the last 30-minute candle here, buy. Look at the gap and run there, okay? This is good intraday information for me to understand how that behavior is running. Looks very, very bullish. I want to look at it on the insider activity. I want to see if there's a lot of volume there. So it's reasonable about, I mean, it's not a lot, but it's $220,000 investors. So about 350,000 by 2 insiders. Not bad. When earnings, we came down into earnings, then we've started to rebuild that momentum up. We can have a look at the SEC form for this guy. We can really go in. I mean, those that are trading stocks, if you've got confluence with insider activity, unusual options activity, and you've got Xbrat Algo Signals, technical signals, you know, you're going to do your homework a little bit on here. So we can go and see this guy, clicking on the link in there. Then we can see, we can actually see, is he a buyer? Is he really bought into this company? He owns a certain percentage because his class is inside. He works for the company, and then he's continually, you know, we can look at all of these entries. Does he keep buying after earnings? Is there a long-term view with this guy that actually thinks, you know what, that, you know, we're doing well, we've got good growth, you know, all that sort of thing. So really, really good. So then we can have a look at this other guy. Again, he bought 20,000 worth. Let's have a look at his activity. So again, he's had a lot of activity. You can look into all of those. So we can go back to October, okay? It'll open it up on a different screen. I'll bring it over, and we can have a look at that activity there, and then so on and so forth. Sale, you know, he purchased more shares at this point here. So, you know, there's lots of information within that panel for stocks traders, but it all starts on this confluence meter. So you don't have to look through lots of stocks, through lots of websites, news channels, and Yahoo Finance and all that sort of stuff. Scanner does the work, and it's, you know, it's a big thing, this scanner. And then you can just, if you wanted to, so that's CRDO on that 6-star buy that we got at that point. Entry was around about 2080 or something like that, and we're at 2564. Big trade. But you can also just look at the Xbrat Algo signals. Have a look at some of those. You know, are they worth buying? I mean, some of them are ETFs as well. You know, you're just going to scan through some of them if you wanted to. You could always go to your watch list here, for example. RGEN was on my watch list because I called the short from the 6-star sell signal, which was again it came on the filter, the scanner, for the confluence scanner. There was unusual options activity, and there was the Xbrat Algo. I mean, look at how good the Xbrat Algo is on stocks. Okay, look at this 5-star buy. Look where it goes. 6-star buy, 5-star sell, 6-star sell. Pulls back a little bit, 6-star sell. That was a wave 4 pullback on the Elliott wave, by the way. So there's a lot to the stocks Predator. Really fantastic tool, and I wanted to open with that today because it's not always about futures or forex trading. That, you know, futures and forex futures trading for me pays the bills, but what's left feeds the investing pot. Okay, because wealth is really grown with that swing trading strategy, whether it's medium, long term. I talk a lot about that in my book, Confluence, Not Coincidence, because even strategies to short to feed the investing pot as well. So Europe and the rest of the world, except for the USA, we use contracts for difference to short. And I talk about that in the book as well. In the US, you would use options to short. You would buy puts and all that sort of stuff. But the main thing is that in the book, I talk about the opportunities to feed that investing pot. First opportunity is your futures trading. If you're making $30,000, $40,000 a month, you need to be putting 10, 15 of that away and putting that into swing trading strategies for stocks to grow that wealth. I mean, some stocks I bought in 2013 I haven't sold yet. They come down. I short the CFDs. I use that profit from those CFDs, a little bit of profit from my futures trading, and buy some more stocks in those. And I talk about Microsoft as one of those stocks in my book as well. So I use the Microsoft example because I do trade that a lot. And I've never sold any of the shares, but when it goes short it with CFDs. So that's the Stocks Predator. Any questions on the Stocks Predator before I move on? It is a fantastic tool. You don't have to trade options with this. Again, long-term wealth, building wealth is by buying stocks. So I'm going to give you the link, which is still the old link. I'm going to put it in the chat for the Stocks Predator if you want to check it out. Okay, so let's minimize that. Let's take away TradingView for a second. So this type 1 buy on the Slingshot wasn't taken in because the 15-minute zone just started to form there. There was no fresh air. My RollerCoaster was switched off because it's not in the time. But the trade today in copper for me, because I trade copper, was the range breakout. It did pretty well. We had that initial move out, took the first contract off, and the other two contracts stayed at that point there. Again, this is a reasonably good strategy for me. It's made me around $7,800 in the last 2 months. Okay, it's a rolling 60 days. I'm probably going to actually re-optimize that a little bit now. But today's performance was fantastic. Okay, did what it's supposed to do. The Slingshot strategy on copper doesn't take many trades. It took one this week and it was a big trade. I've had one little winner, $13.86 in the last 90 days, and it's made about $8,700 profit. So the trade the other day, and a lot of the users have 60-minute time zone on here, but I don't. Okay, because I'm using the 15 and the 30, so I'm looking at the confluence between those both down here. So this was a trade. I shared it in the teams, and again, Christine, I shared that live. You know that. So first target, second target, and then we let the next one run, and it hit the third target at that point. Fantastic trade. But it doesn't trade every day. But what it does is, look, there's a lot of probability in this trade because it's a type 3 sell. So it's what we call a trend failure. All 6 timeframes in the bias-stepped heat map are red. So the automated strategy builder understands that we've got a signal and we've got confirmation. And that's got lots of fresh air down to this next confluence zone down here. So it takes the trade. That doesn't happen very often. When it does, it recognizes, that's my little $13.86 loser. And then I think we have to go back about a week or so to get another winner. Okay, there you go. There's another trend failure. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, we go back. At this time, it wasn't such a long time. You know, we got a decent winner there. It was a really good type 1 sell. I need to put previous zones on so you can see that. So basically, one of the options we have on the back end here is to take profit when it hits the next zone. So when I look at this strategy here for a type 1 sell, for a type 1 trade, I've got at the bottom exit on Guardian Zone Touch ticked. So when I've optimized, that's the best option for that type of trade. And that was a great trade there. So, you know, there's the other one. So yeah, winner, winner all the time. So the idea is that we get the serious traders. I'm a serious trader. I do it for a living. I need to, because it's very expensive to live in Dubai. So what we become, and I made a very short 3-minute video today, is pilots. See this as being on autopilot, okay? So when this long trade went in today, okay, I was active on the Slingshot. So all I did was press that button and deactivate shorts, because I don't want a trade to go against me, the long position I'm in. What I do want, though, with the Slingshot is if it pulls back during that long trade here, okay, let's pull it up on here. If it pulls back during there and I get a Slingshot buy and it adds more contracts, that's what I want. And again, here, I was out of time on the thing, but I had a RollerCoaster buy signal at 8:21 this morning. This trade went in at 8:30, okay, just after 8:30. So I had confluence there. I was present, I understood, but as soon as that trade went in, I just clicked that shorts button because I don't want it to trade shorts. And I did the same on my Zone Trader Pro, which is on another screen. So I would have said, well, this is live now, so I'm going to click it. But, you know, I would say, right, disengage shorts because I've got a long trade on. And that's all I need to do. Most of the work is data-driven with automated strategies, in that you optimize each strategy because it's different market conditions for different strategies. Where they overlap, you need to be in front of the computer to disengage and engage trades, trading opportunities. And then you just let it run. There are those that will say, well, why didn't you take the profit at all this point here? That pullback could have been shallower and these new highs could have been met, okay? You haven't got a crystal ball. All you can do is optimize for the data set and say, right, this is the time when we make it risk-free. If it takes that first contract out, I mean, this was a, I don't know, $800-900 trade, but on another day, that pullback would have been shallower and we would have gone. The thing that went against us today, I think, was PPI, and we had PMI as well. So we had a bit of data that worked against us initially in this particular trade, but that's what it is. Okay, so I've covered any questions on the automated strategies. I know quite a few of you use it already, Slingshot in particular, and we're still beta testing the Zone Trader Pro. If there's no questions on that, I want to go to VWAP Predator. Okay. So by the end of the year, we'll automate out VWAP Predator as well. In fact, let me bring it on TradingView, because it's something different. Okay. So a lot of people on TradingView will be trading Forex or indeed sort of gold spot and things like that. So one of the things that we've done with TradingView, because we can, is that with the VWAP Predator, we can send a signal within the platform or in the app when we get a buy or a sell signal. And when you're trading gold, for example, whether it's gold futures or gold spot, doesn't really matter. Be aware of the time of the day and the catalyst for those moves and understand if it's out of sync. So this is 6:30 this morning. Let me just change that to, yeah, we're in New York. So this was the London Open at this point this morning. Gold's pretty crap during that time. We're starting to get in the US morning now, pre-market. 6:30, we get this buy signal. So the VWAP Predator is very special. First of all, if you were with a Forex broker that doesn't offer data volume, get rid of it and get one that does. Because volume is 50% of the behavior. The price action is brilliant, but how much volume did it take to make that price action? You should be asking yourself. So the VWAP here is the blue dotted line, and then we've got extensions down below and above for that. What we use is some of the technology and the behavior from volume behavior from the manager. And we say in the algorithm, if we get an open below the VWAP, in this case, and a close above, it has higher volume than the previous candle. It has higher than average volume compared to a set number of candles previously. We print the buy signal, okay? And the same for an extension. If it opens below, closes above, have increased volume, so it's an accumulation candle compared to the previous candle. It has higher than average volume compared to a set number, where actually it does rotate within the algorithm to give you that buy signal. You go buy, yeah, and this is how it works. But again, time of the day here, we're pre-market. Got a bit of European data comes out, gives us a bit of a lift. But then we get the gold pit open at 8:30, okay? That's when most US traders start trading gold. There's no physical pit, but that's when we get the volume. Look what happens. Got a buy signal, goes boom, okay? We're out before the market opens. Then we can see there's a reaction here. 10 o'clock was the big data, okay? It comes back down, finds support the VWAP, bounces off, the open is below, the close is above, gives us a buy signal, we go long, and we're still in that trade right now. It's pointless trying to trade the data. Wait for the data reaction, look for the signals after that. So if you're in a long trade on gold before data, before the US Open, make sure your stops are very tight or you're out. If you're day trading, you need to be out. Wait for that data, understand that the economic data will ruin or make your day. If you're already in a trade, one of the things you must do, and I teach my apprentices this, and we bring it home almost every week, you need to understand what's going off that day on that week, where the date, what economic data is coming out, what news is coming out, when the Fed's speaking, blah, blah, blah. You need that ingrained. It needs to be on your notes. It needs to be on your chart with TradingView. It's really simple. You click on that button and you've got all of this data that's coming out every day. Really fantastic tool. So don't take this signal at 9:55 long. Why? Because 5 minutes later, there's big data coming out. Wait for the reaction. Look at the reaction there. That is a massive rejection of the lows. Settles down. We get a buy signal here from the VWAP Predator. You go long. Trading should not be difficult. You just need to have your ducks in a row and understand where those economic data points are coming in, and have the technology to give you those trading signals. So that was a great trade on gold today. Again, we look at Forex pairs on the 12-minute. I'm a big fan of the 12-minute time frame. Yesterday was fantastic for Aussie dollar, US dollar. Again, understand Aussie dollar, US dollar, it's a different time of the day when it's more reactive. This is when Australia's active, okay? This is when Australian central bank data comes out, for example. So see those sell signals and look for those trades. You go to a different Forex pair, it's a different picture. Let's go to Forex. Let's go to GBP. Let's go to the British pound. So we had great sell signals yesterday. There's the London Open at 3 a.m. EST. Actually, on the London Open candle, we got a sell signal and it dived all the way into the pre-market at that point. So really great trade. Been sideways today. A lot of the markets have been sideways today, waiting for that big data coming out. Okay, understand, you're not going to get a great deal of movement in the market leading into big US data. Whether we like it or not, US data really affects the markets. Why? Because everything's pegged against the US dollar. Okay, whether it's gold, whether it's oil, whether it's currency pairs, you know, no one's going to actually put their life on the line before big data comes out, hence there. So if you are a Forex trader, you know big US data is coming out, take the morning off, go and do something different, learn, understand, start to understand behavior a little bit more of the instrument that you trade, and you are better set then for there. I mean, there was no trades on this on the data reaction at that point. So I can go on and look for other things. I mean, we can even go stocks here. Day trading stocks is pretty cool. Looking actually, go stocks, go Apple. So we're going to go 30 minutes. And so with the 30-minute with the VWAP Predator, there's some distinct strategies, and I talked about there. If we get that last candle close, we go, or we get into, you know, early in the session, we get a sell signal. It is very, very good at this point here. At the end of the session, okay, there's a sell signal. I'm not really a seller on the gaps. I'm a buyer on the gaps. There's no buys on Apple for a while on the gaps here for that last. Oh, wow. That was earnings. That was a bit of a gamble. But, you know, this is really good. Anybody actually trade a specific stock? Short-term swings I can look at. Let's have a look at Amazon. That's a good option, stock. It's not been great just lately, has it? Well, nice run here. Nice run. Let's look at CRDO. My big winner from recently. No VWAP Predator signals today. Be interesting how it closes, actually. Okay, that's pretty cool. Let's go back to Forex. Let's go crypto. Let's go crypto, shall we? Don't know what the groove is on this. Probably more like, oh, we can't use VWAP Predators more than 30 minutes. Go 15. Yeah, not many people day trade crypto because it's not a sophisticated enough market. With crypto, you really need to be looking at Xbrat Algo and on a larger time frame, so could be an hour or something like that, or even the daily. There you go, look at that on the hourly. Really great trades on the Xbrat Algo. Was it look like on the daily on Ethereum? Yeah. So it was the same for Bitcoin. The big move up was actually we had the Xbrat Algo Signals on Bitcoin as well. I did quite well out of this move, Bitcoin and Ethereum. I've kept hold of my Ethereum and Bitcoin though. But it's a good time to buy if you're feeding in to that, even if you do buying in the ETFs. The Xbrat Algo is a fantastic tool to actually look for those buy signals to add more to your particular portfolio. I mean, add half an Ethereum or and point something of a Bitcoin. Every time you get a 6-star buy, you can't really go wrong on the big cryptos at the moment. Really, really good moves right now. MU. So we'll look at the stock MU. I think it's had an Elliott wave. Have I got Elliott wave on this particular chart? Yes. I need the stochastic. Hang on a sec. Let me just put the stochastic on. $9913. Right. Yeah. So we got a sort of fifth wave target around 138 to 140. So what I'm looking for is a specific chart pattern, like a double bottom here. But then I'm looking on the stochastics. Very important, the stochastics oversold for a bullish trend. So we got double bottom here. Okay, how do I know it's a double bottom? It's very, very simple. Rule of thumb, okay? If you draw a little rectangle from the lows there, okay, to the highs there, okay, that should be 3% or less of the actual price, okay? That is that, okay? That's a good double bottom. If we take that across, we can see it's a really good, strong sort of zone. And that's when I look for, we got the slightly higher low here. It's still oversold. That's where I'm isolating my wave count. That's where this trend has started, okay? This was another trend. This trend, double bottom, 2 oversolds. That's the higher one. That's the start of the trend. Then the software counts it for you. And then we've had a fifth wave hit the target zone. It's pulled back down. We've had a 1 and 2. We've had a big 3. The fifth wave was really how. This is where we teach in the apprenticeship that we look at confluence here a lot. So we get a fourth wave pullback into the amber zone. There's 80% probably it's going to go and hit the fifth wave target zone. We start to pull back up through there. Aggressive entry is around $115, but then the directional flow increases as we get that 6-star buy signal on the Xbrat Algo. Struggling around those highs there, which is normal. But we seem to be consolidating, which is pretty good. I would hope, I would look for that to reach the wave 5 before earnings. Does that make sense, Vic? On MU? Yeah. Yeah. Been a good stock this year. I mean, a lot of them have really. You can't really go wrong. But again, with the stocks predator, you can really find some great sort of stocks that are in confluence that are high probability moves. And I think actually MU was on the stocks predator, if I remember rightly, because you called that from the stocks predator. Just get rid of that. Go to our latest move. That's still active, but it ain't going to trade now. That move on copper today has been fantastic. Oil's going for it now. Okay, missed trade. Missed a trade on oil. We got a VWAP predator buy, but it was going into this 60-minute zone, so I'm not really interested. We get a buy at that point here. Not that interested, but when we get this buy, that's where I would go, to be honest. So I've missed it, so I'm not going to chase it. Buy is at that point there. We've got another buy signal now. We've not got enough fresh air, I don't think. We've got you know, even there below the safety net, it's only 1-to-1 risk to rewards, not a great deal there. There's a lot of fresh air to the 60. This was last tested quite a long time ago, actually. So if I just take the current time frame off, there's a lot of fresh air to the next 60 zone. So what we got 18 minutes left. Let's have a shits and giggles trade, shall we? So oil to 74.11. Stock market 74. Oops. Just check that high. Yeah.
Where is the bidding?
All 6 time frames are green. There is lots of fresh air to the next 60 zone. I think you've got to. I've only gone 2 contracts because the stop's really got to be down here. Let me just take that one away. So the entry's there. So my risk to reward to the next 60 zone is pretty big. We just use a tool there for pivot extension. So I'm just going to below that pivot there. So risk to reward is 1 to 2. Okay. If it doesn't take me in on this next candle, I cancel it. Okay. Momentum has to continue. Okay. There was nothing on there. Okay, yeah, on the options, definitely. Okay, guys, it's time for you to ask me some questions on any of, whether it's the buy-step heat map, Elliott Wave, VWAP Predator, RollerCoaster, Xbrat Algo, Slingshot, range breakout, whatever it is. So we don't use Unirenko map on VWAP. We will use Heiken-Ashi or normal candles on the VWAP. Okay, it's just that the volume is very, very hit and miss depending on the broker when you're talking on Unirenko. Okay, because it has to have volume. And then when we're talking here, so with the Slingshot automated strategy builder, I have found that I'm pretty much 100% win rate on this 12-minute normal candle, okay? It looks ugly, but it wins. So when I optimize this over 90 days, it's just about, I mean, I've lost 14 bucks. It doesn't take trades. Sometimes it can go for a whole week without a trade, then it'll take 2. It's like waiting for a bus, they all come at once. But it's with the new ASB, with a Slingshot, it will only take the trade. So these trades were not taken, these type 1 and type 2 buys. Why? Because there was bloody resistance right up above. And look what ended up happening anyway. Okay, so it has to have confirmation. This type 1 buy has got confirmation. It's got no fresh air. So the algorithm says no trade. That's the rule. Okay. Okay. Does that answer your question? Should try 12-minute candle on trade with Slingshot for CL. Well, I'm actually using Unirenko on that one because that seems to be in the groove right now. But I'm using on the data series, I'm using 2610. And Vic uses one that I mentioned for 2440, and it is phenomenal. So let's just build a chart set around that for CL. So let me just duplicate in a new tab, and I'm going to change that. I need to cancel that order because it didn't take it in on the next candle.
Cancel.
So I'm going to change that data series to 42440. This is freaky. Okay, this is Confluence Trading Strategy 101. Okay, I'm going to go 40 there. I'm going to click apply. I'm just going to add the manual slingshot and the manual VWAP predator a second. Okay. So this is a bigger space of time with this Unirenko. So the volume is a lot more accurate. When you're using 135, it's not accurate because it's too fast. So I'm just going to shove on there the VWAP predator and the slingshot and the VWAP predator. Oh, we'll put the bi-step theme up on there as well. Gary, what are you trading? Oh, Guardian Zones, yeah. Futures. I would definitely go slingshot. Go if you get the slingshot special edition, you'll get VWAP Predator free for a month anyway, and you'll get the Guardian Zones free for 3 months. So really good. So what we're looking at here is some really fantastic sort of trades. Remember, time of the day is important here. So let's just go back quite a bit. You can see I trade it a lot. I want to just let me on the data series clear all those trades off. So just go do not plot. Okay, that's nice. So with the slingshot, there's not that many opportunities, but then you get some opportunities like this. Okay, so oh, hang on, it's just recalculating. So type 1 sell, let's draw a line. Let's draw a vertical line. Type 1 sell on this candle here, okay? All 6 time frames are red, yeah. Lots of fresh air down to the next zone. What happens then is, so that's in the evening, okay? We then get a really nice addition there on these sell signals at this point here. So I want to put another vertical line in for each one. So sell signal there. Sell signal here. No vertical line. Sell signal here. Okay, we're getting opportunities to add to this slingshot. Okay, there is a 1 buy signal in there. To be honest, the way that's managed, that wouldn't be a problem anyway. You see the trailing stop starts to print at this point here. As we're going into the pre-market here with in the US, I would probably ignore these signals because we're coming into gold pit open, oil pit open, okay? And we don't want to be in there in that sort of situation. So it's still a priority to ensure that you have fresh air and you have all 6 time frames. So type 1 sell here again, okay? Type 1 sell on this candle there. All 6 time frames are red. You pass target 2 for your particular fresh air to the next 60-minute zone. Really like these. It just enters us at this point at 77.23. I get 2 more sell signals at this point at 77, entry at 77.10. This is the perfect storm for me. So we have the entry at this point here. You see this line at this point for the type 1 sell. We've got signal, we've got fresh air, we've got confirmation. We take the trade and we're looking for a trade to target 2 with this type of strategy. Within a couple of these Unirenko candles, we get 2 more sell signals. I got to add contracts to this. Why? Confluence. The directional flow is increasing, okay? This is the time. Just after that, we broke through another dam. It's really going for it. We got to go short either on the first or the second. So you go second here, 77.09. You average 77.23, 9, 10, 14, 7. So you are at 77.16 is your average. So let's move that to there. 77.16 is your average price. So, 1 contract there, 1 contract there. Target 1, go. Stop. As soon as it starts to get the trailing, stop, go, go, go. And then get out at target 2 because you've probably got data. Yeah, look at that. 947, all of a sudden coming up to the top, and then it reverses around. So it's about, that opportunity came in on oil just before the oil pit open. We had this massive move down, and then it was in for 50 minutes. Okay, really great trading opportunity there. And we'll look at one more. Look at this. Type 3 sell here, okay? Put another vertical line in. This is why Vic likes this, okay? So Vic is an ex-apprentice of mine. He's called Xbrat. Vic is a really great trader, and he runs the automated strategy builders and the stocks predators on Teams for me as well. But he listens. So when I say 424.40, he goes away, and he understands confluence because he's been on the apprenticeship. We get a type 3 sell, loads of fresh air. All of that red down below, go. Add to your contract at this point. So this trade is at 10:46 a.m. in the morning. We get a sell signal here at 11:48. You add to your contract at this point. Take it all the way to the close, all the way down. Perfect trade. This trade, so the average here would be 78.50. So 32.16, 60, 34, so 67-ish. 67 down to, it's 100 ticks. Okay, really great. 100 ticks on 2 contracts. Start with 1, add another when you get that signal. If you're further down into the move, don't bother. You've got to be pretty close to the start of the move. So with this, I would probably, it's very difficult. Unirenko is very special. If we switch it to day trading and have a see, but it's probably still okay. Indicators. I would swing trading start at 30-minute time frame. Okay, Otis, 30-minute. Day trading is probably 5 to 15. Anything below 5 is scalping. Does that make sense? Yeah. How do I manage a runner when it keeps going? Okay, so on the Slingshot, we have the trade management tool, there, but I'll always be out at the end of the session for something like that. Okay. It's as simple as that, really. So again, we get a type 3 buy at this point, long this time. Okay, 10:38 a.m. previous day. We go long at this point here. We get another buy signal there, get second contract, take it out at the end. If you want to carry it over, you're going to use a trading stop from the Slingshot. So one thing you would do here on indicators, you can be more aggressive with that Slingshot. So at the moment, we're stop EMA is 30. We can change that to 21, for example, and that will be a little tighter. You can see there. Probably on this time frame wouldn't go any lower than 21, but if you're on a Unirenko 2610, you could perhaps go to 13 or something like that, Matt. Yeah, on the Slingshot, on copper, on the automated strategy builder, I just use a 12-minute time frame. I'm not always in front of the computer. Okay, so Jerry, I'm going to be very honest. I have a life. Yeah, I have a very good life, and I've spent lots of money developing these for a personal reason as well. So I can have copper running while I'm away, while I'm playing golf, while I'm away with my wife, while I'm doing whatever I'm doing. If I know on my spreadsheet, and I've got a spreadsheet here, let me just bring it up. My drive. So if I've got times, so I know range breakout on HG only trades Wednesdays and Fridays. Okay. So I was present today because on a Wednesday, on the range breakout, I have Slingshot, range breakout, and RollerCoaster all at the same time. Okay. If I've only got one running, I'm not in front of the computer. I've got these red areas where I need to be in front of the computer. I spend my time on a Sunday night or a Monday morning analyzing the data, re-optimizing, setting it and go. Yeah. And normal 12-minute on this one. Okay, just trading 3 contracts at the moment on this one because I'm running into the summer. Strategy performance here is $8,700 profit. Doesn't sound a lot for 90 days, but then on 60 days, you look at a different strategy, same instrument, very important, this same instrument. I need to go big to be able to right click on it. So this is over 60 days. It's made just under $8,000, okay? And then you look at the RollerCoaster. A bit out of whack, I'm lost on this, but this has made $16,000 in 30 days, okay? Because it's a lot faster time frame. It's on a 233 tick. So 16, 24, 30 odd. So this is why I'm saying that you don't need to trade 5 different frigging instruments, okay? What you do need to understand is confluence. Market conditions change and have the strategies to change to trade those different market conditions. Stick to one instrument. I know I trade oil as well, but I've been doing this nearly 30 years. And just have those different strategies. You know, the Zone Trader Pro as well. That strategy performance is $9,000 in 60 days as well. So I don't need to know ES. I don't need to know NQ. All I need to know is that I can build a strategy on Slingshot that gives me around $8,000 to $10,000 every 90 days, and it hardly gives me any losers. I get a little bit more losers on this. I get a little bit more losers on the Zone Trader Pro, but overall, I get around $20,000 to $25,000 a month, and that's how my flow goes. And I don't need to be in front of the computer. Eventually, by the end of the year, we will have the VWAP Predator as an automated strategy as well, which will really be a game changer, because then everything is there. Okay, all my market conditions are covered. I can optimize. I'll have my little spreadsheet. It'll tell me when I need to be in front of the computer. And a lot of that is around about the pre-market and US session. Sometimes London Open, that's it. So CL is rangy. So, okay, so we look at, it depends on the time frame. So look at the 10-minute on the Zone Trader Pro. It's pretty much rangy all there, but when you go down to a 2610, for example, there is quite a bit of movement there, okay? There's some good shorts in there. That didn't print along on this particular time frame. RollerCoaster, it's got to be perfect. It's got to have a signal, a confirmation, and a fresh air on the specific strategy, okay? They are the rules. No deviation. So I just want to reiterate, where you need to be by the end of this year is having 3 or 4 ASBs and you have a little spreadsheet and you're optimizing it. Sometimes they do overlap. That's when you got to need to be in front of the computer. Most of your time in front of the computer will either be switching longs or shorts off, depending if there's overlapping things. So basically you're like, it's a pilot, you're a pilot and it's on autopilot. And then the majority of the time is just looking at the data at the end of the week, understanding and comparing consecutive losers, consecutive winners, what your win rate is, all that sort of stuff, re-optimizing if you need to do it. I've hardly had to re-optimize this Slingshot for HG or CL over the last month or so. Just keep pushing in the winners, okay? I haven't re-optimized this copper for 6 weeks or so on the range breakout. Had a good winner today, but I still, at the end of this week, will look at the data and probably retweak it. So it's not I want you to get to where, to this point, so then you're making enough profit and you can then start to use some of that profit and start build wealth with the swing trading stocks. You can't build wealth and compound so much with futures because the risk gets higher. Yes, I'm used to trading anything from 3 to 30 contracts, but I can tell you now that is stressful. Yeah. Trading 1, 2, 3 contracts, dead easy. Once you start to get into double figures, it is a whole different ball game. That drawdown of $1,400 for 3 contracts on RollerCoaster all of a sudden becomes $14,000, and that's a whole new level of mental capacity, and not a lot of people have got it. It's easier to trade, 3 contracts, make that money, and then get the excess and buy some stocks. Okay. Any more questions before I go? Because it's 9:05 at night here, and I'm ready to go. Thank you very much. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Otis. Thank you, Jerry. So just be aware, if I gave you a link to the Stocks Predator. You've got any other information or you want any other information, info@globaltradingsoftware.com. I'll put it in the chat. I spelt it right. Yeah. Okay. And then give us a bell if you want to. Okay. Cheers, guys. I'll see you in another month. When I see you next, I will be at my house in Spain. Cheers, everybody.